Penalties for rejecting a job. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Still working through my morning stein of coffee, and I thought we'd have a look at this article from Yahoo Finance. It's discussing, well, the penalties that people can face for rejecting a job. Now, JobSeeker, or the Dole, or New Start, whatever it is, the requirements for people have been stepped back. They don't need to look as much as they have in the past, frankly because the government has forced the entire country to shut down at one point or another. That's all going to change. That'll be stepped back. Requirements will be put on people to find work. And, well, here's the question. Some people have never been through a recession. Some people have never been unemployed. Some people may need to be humbled a little bit and realize that, that dream job of 12 years classical training isn't going to materialize out of nowhere. You may have to slum it a bit. You may have to work with the proles a bit. It may be good for you. We'll see. We'll see. So job seekers face penalties for rejecting a job, says the Prime Minister. Job seekers will face penalties if they reject a job that has been made available to them, the Prime Minister said on Tuesday. Speaking from Canberra, Scott Morrison said the mutual obligations will be reintroduced in 2 phases for job seekers. And I think that's going to be a hard taste of reality for some people. And I think it's going to be very hard for people to get out there and find work. It's going to, hopefully, this will be the slap in the face that some people go, you know what? I don't want to deal with any of this rubbish, any of these bureaucrats. I'm going to start that dream. I'm going to do that training. I'm going to get those new skills. I can't put up with it. In the first phase, which will begin on the 4th of August, job seekers will have to reconnect with employment services and conduct at least 4 job searches a month, he said. A day or a month? A month. 4? So I guess someone doing 10, as we saw this morning, really is a huge burden. What is a job search? Searching online, sending a resume off, going and handing in a job. And if a job is offered to job seekers, they're obliged to take it up. And here's the thing. I can imagine people would put in crappy resumes that make themselves look terrible if they didn't want to work. I can't imagine too many people would want to do that, and your life would have to be pretty depressing if you get to that point. The penalties regime will kick in if people refuse a job that has been provided and offered through the process, said Prime Minister Morrison. So if there is a job to be taken and a job that is being offered, then it is an obligation, a mutual obligation for those who are on job seeker to take those jobs where they're on offer. And here's the problem. When you do the sums and you're on job seeker, or particularly with the extra payments, then you factor in the cost of traveling to work, you factor in the cost of clothing and petrol and all these other things and daycare costs. Often you'll be hardly ahead. Particularly, then what does that say? Does it say, oh, we've got to up all the wages for everyone? Or maybe this emergency support mechanisms, which is what these are too generous. What do you think, guys? I see both sides of the story. I mean, would you want to work yourself to death for a pittance? This was reiterated later in a joint statement by Minister for Employment, Skills, Small and Family Business, Michaelia Cash, and Minister for Families and Social Services, Anne Rushton, that stated job seekers who receive income support payments are expected to accept any offer of suitable paid work. Those who don't may be denied their welfare payments, the ministers warned. Well, I mean, if you've got a job offer and you don't take it, what's the point then of it if you're not interested? From the 4th of August 2020, if a job seeker refuses an offer of suitable employment without a valid reason, they may have their payment cancelled and may need to wait for 4 weeks before they can reapply for income support. And here's the thing, if you say, oh, that's unfair, we shouldn't do that, well, I mean, this is what happens when you deal with bureaucracies, when you deal with government. They don't care about you. They're just going to, they've got their check boxes, and the people in there, they just want to protect their jobs. They don't give a damn. I'm sure some of them do, but that'll get burned out real quick. Burned out of them real quick. So you want to find ways to avoid this. You want to make sure you're not in this situation. You want to have an emergency reserve so you can be a bit pickier about finding work. So you've got your own money, so you don't need to depend on this. But it's just, the thing is, we've had times too good for too long. And it's going to be bloody hard for people to find work. And I'm sure there are lots of them there that are fighting and trying to get jobs right now, and there's just nothing out there. You know, it's gonna get tough, guys. This is the recession. Yahoo Finance has contacted the Department of Education, Skills and Employment for clarification on what constitutes a valid reason. The second phase of mutual obligations requirements for JobSeeker will begin at the end of September, Morrison also added. We will be moving to a higher rate of job search. We'll be reintroducing the assets test for eligibility for those payments. Oh, so it doesn't even exist now. And we'll also be reintroducing assets waiting periods at that time. However, eased restrictions around eligibility for sole traders will be maintained. The ordinary waiting period will still be waived, and the partner income test thresholds will also be maintained. Measures are likely to be extended into 2021, the Prime Minister confirmed. We will make further decisions about JobSeeker at close to the end of the year or potentially even in the budget. It is our intention that we would expect that there would be a need to continue these supplements post-December, he said. Morrison announced extensions of both the JobSeeker and JobKeeper schemes, and this was yesterday. The $550 pandemic supplement will be brought down to $250 per fortnight from late September and will extend until December. Meanwhile, JobKeeper has been extended until March next year, but will operate at a reduced rate. Businesses that receive the payment will have to do a new turnover test, and there will be different rates for part-time and casual employers. So, I mean, that's good that they're finally waking up to just the mess that this was. I mean, this was a knee-jerk reaction. We all saw it. They just quickly, boom, got it out there. Boom, got it out there. And you can't blame them in a way for doing that. But, I mean, that's the thing. Now, let's have a look a bit about how the ABC's take on it is. So the tap isn't being turned off, but the twin hoses of JobKeeper and JobSeeker are being pinched a little tighter. In fact, one hose is being pinched a little tighter than the other, JobSeeker. Okay. The extension of both payments has been welcomed by economists, unions, business groups, and the opposition. Despite the Prime Minister's early talk of a snapback, ultimately no one thought ending these supports in September was a good idea. Indeed, the extension of JobKeeper into next year, albeit at a lower rate, goes beyond commitments made by most other comparable countries, which are facing an outlook just as uncertain when it comes to this pandemic. The UK is ending its wage subsidy in October, while the US Congress is grappling what to do beyond the end of this month. So the carrot and stick scenario. When it comes to JobSeeker, there's not as much certainty. Those without a job will see their payments fall from $1,100 to $800 a fortnight in October. What happens at the end of the year is unclear at this stage. I mean, so here we go. I mean, it's going down. It's going down. The Prime Minister said he's leaning heavily to the notion that there will be some continuation of the supplement post-December. This signals no return, possibly even to the older rate of New Start, but presumably something less generous than $800 a fortnight. It also signals a lengthy debate between now and then over what the rates should be. In the meantime, the government is bringing out a carrot and stick to encourage those on JobSeeker to find some work. The carrot is a more generous income test. Individuals will now be able to earn $300 a fortnight before losing any of their JobSeeker payments. Well, there you go. You know, $150 a week. In fact, part-time workers will be able to earn both the reduced rate JobKeeper and JobSeeker at the same time. This could take their total of income to just $1,200. So there's the potential. I'm seeing some people are saying there's the potential for double dipping. Oh, it's all so complicated, isn't it? It's all so complicated. Am I the only one that just hates dealing with any of these organizations? Just hates it with a passion. And you're sitting there talking to some bureaucrat. Their whole job is just sitting in a little room typing things. No creativity, no thinking. They just follow a checklist. Then they go to the company sanctioned, gender equality award and wear a pink bloody ribbon, do all this other stupid rubbish. That's not a job. That's not a job. You're not really doing anything of value, are you? It'll be replaced by a computer script. But, they probably could now. It probably could all be automated. This is one reason why they'll never do UBI, guys. This is one reason why they'll never do UBI. Because really simple. Very simple. I understand the whole idea of it and that how you don't lose it, everyone has it. I get that. I get that. But, to implement it properly, you'll need to get rid of all of these busy jobs. All of these jobs keeping people working in the Centrelink offices and the government departments. If you look at the map of how many Centrelink offices around Australia, it's a big employer. Landlords compete to get them in their buildings. They'll never get rid of UBI because they can't afford to get rid of all those people. They need to keep them busy. They need them to keep working. All JobSeeker recipients will have to engage with an employment service provider by August 4th and go onto a jobs plan. This will require 4 job searches a month and penalties for turning down any offers. Just look at how much time is spent on getting a plan, meeting with a person, all this stuff. Government needs to step back and make it easier for people to start businesses. It needs to make it easier for people to be employed. It needs to make it easier for businesses, small businesses in particular, to fire crap people. I know that may sound counterintuitive, but it's unfair. If you're the one constantly getting fired, if you're the one constantly getting those 3 warnings, maybe you're the problem, not the greedy boss. Some people have never experienced the other side of it. There's a lot of useless people out there. And sometimes they need to get... We had one guy we let go. He didn't even realize he'd been fired for incompetence because of the way Rachel had to write this letter to him. So, there we go. We'll have it. And I'll let you go through this one at your own leisure. What do you all think, everyone? What do you all think? Do you think a lot of people are going to get a surprise? Or, there'll be people, 4 applications a month. That's nothing. It's going to be, if there's no work, there's no work. What would you suggest to people? What would you suggest to do to create their own opportunities? Try and create self-employment. Maybe cleaning cars, taking out bins, doing gardening, anything. Doing all the stuff other people don't want to do. You probably have to pay a fortune in government fees, licensing, and other requirements. Anyway, everyone, thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts and opinions below. If you're a fan and want to support the content I create here, there are a few ways you can. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us using our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or Kucoin. You can buy merch from HeiseSays. You can use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint or via PayPal. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day. I'll see you next time.